Yo, what's up, everybody? This is James Bishop, a.k.a. JBJR of Fruit of the Boom Podcast and Lando Cal Podcast. We're here today at the Rare Air Art Show, 2055 Walton Road over in the Overland area. It's definitely a dope experience. I was invited out by a great friend of mine and a networking buddy of mine, Freebird Skull. Shout out to him. It's a great experience. Look, I've seen a lot of people out here dealing with artists, dealing with producers, dealing with poets, podcasters. I'm seeing other podcasters here. It's a really great experience from what I'm noticing. So, I'm going to go ahead and try to get some interviews in and just try to check out some more scenes and, just try to take more in and see what's going on with the area. So I'm going to go ahead and holler at you guys a little bit later and signing off for right now. Yo, I'm back in the building. This is JBJR of Fruit of the Boom Podcast and of Lando Cal Experience Podcast. Right now, like I said, we're back at the Rare Air Art Show down at 2055 Walton Road in St. Louis, Missouri. Live event, beautiful event with a lot of black entrepreneurs, from producers to engineers to artists to poets to actual freehand artists, both musical and visual. You see a lot of events, so a lot of beautiful stuff. And as a matter of fact, I actually have the actual founder and creator of said event right here, my man Free. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to be on your podcast, man. I'm glad you will be a part of this, man. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, man, dude, this is awesome, man. I see stuff happen over here all the time. I didn't know this was going on, so I'm glad when you hit me up like a few weeks back, man, and you told me about this. I really did kind of take this. I wanted to go ahead and come out and support and check this stuff out, man. I'm glad I did, man, because it's a beautiful event.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you came out, man. Yeah, we celebrate artists over here, man. So the whole idea of this Rare Air Art Show is pretty much a networking event, and it's for artists, put on by an artist, and it's like my whole idea behind it is, I know, the woes of an artist, trying to network, trying to actually get your stuff out there for people to see it, to build up a community that gets behind what it is that you do, or just the actual have the passion for something and don't know where to put it at, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's, crafts or whatever it is, fashion design, or even if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to get business circulating in the community, but you don't know how to circulate it because you don't have a storefront, or you may not have a website, but the Rare Air Art Show is pretty much for all of that, It's for you to build that community within, and hopefully it grows from coming here, and then hopefully you can build that customer base or that fan base or just that networking base and move your and help push your movement. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. And I know you told me right before we started, this is like a monthly outlet for the most part for like everyone that's here, like from all the creators, man. Like I said, I'm seeing a lot of creators. Like I'm just looking at all the random art that's just, just on all these walls, and it's beautiful, man. Like all different styles.
Yeah, we got all kind of.
It's crazy, man. So tell me a little bit, man. Like how did you get in touch with like a lot of these people? It's just people you already knew. It's just people just heard about the scene. Like how did you end up reaching out to a lot of these people?
Man, I didn't know none of these people. None of them. You know what I'm saying? So really what it was, man, is me being an artist myself. I rap. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm a writer. I went to school for audio engineering and stuff like that. And really, like, I'm just trying to get around in St. Louis myself and try to get my name out and try to pretty much network. And in the process of doing so, I'm trying to enter these shows and I'm doing this and that. And a lot of shows, depending on, the walk of life, you know what I'm saying? Even in St. Louis, you got little groups, you know what I'm saying? And in certain groups, it's like, if they don't really know you, they're not really open to like letting you in and perform. They're like, oh, well, who are you? Or, I ain't never heard of you. All right. You know what I'm saying? They want to pass. So I was like, that don't really make sense. You ain't even heard the craft yet, or you ain't never seen the art form or whatever it is that's going on. So it was like, I was like, how can I create, the avenues or the network that I think should be going on in St. Louis. And so instead of going and trying to be in everybody else's event, I was like, I'm gonna bring everybody to me. So I'm gonna create what it is that I feel like is needed in the city. So this is what I felt like was needed, was a place for everybody to be themselves and to be as free as they can with their art, you know what I'm saying, and as expressive as they can. So I created the idea of an art show mixed with poetry, mixed with, entrepreneurs, so, product could be sold, because I also have fashion, a fashion online site called La Petite Mort, lapetitmort.store. That's where you can find all my brand. But you know what I'm saying, because I'm doing different things and I'm selling merchandise, you know what I'm saying, online merchandise. I was like, I need a place where everybody can come and they can freely sell their product, or they can freely showcase whatever it is they do without having to feel like shunned from whatever community that they're trying to get into. Because I'm not really the guy that's trying to be popular into other groups. I'm just trying to network and build connections. And it's like, I want to freely build connections without feeling like, like if you go to a DJ, they may charge you to, play your music on the radio. So I was like, well, let me get podcasts involved into my art show because I want people to be heard, and not scrutinized or not manipulated by money and, and wanting to feel like, oh, I got to pay. I got to pay to get heard, or I got to pay to be involved in this, outlet or community. And I'm like, I want you to freely do what it is what you do. And, and be the artist that you truly are. So that's just the goal of all this shit. It's just for you to be who you are, to do what it is that you sought out to do. So that's the Rare Earth Art Show.
Hey, bro, I mean, that was a beautiful explanation, man. I'm glad you broke it down and explained it in a way where, like, I totally get it, man, and I'm totally seeing, like, the outcome of everything right now. Like, and it's nothing but positivity here.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, saying positive. A lot of networking, like, I brought my wife out with me. I know she's a business consultant. She's been doing a lot of networking, so she's been out here doing a lot of stuff. And, clearly I'm a podcast. I'm also a music producer, so I'm just out here, talking to like-minded individuals.
Right.
So so we able to do this, and I'm glad this exists. So one thing I know a lot of people want to know, like, stuff like this. Like, so if you could just break down real quick, like, how does, like, the actual event break down? Like, we see, like, we got the art show, but, like, as far as, like, the order, like, how stuff goes, like, how does it usually go with these kind of events? Like, you have, I know you say you have, like, poets go up and speak and things of that nature. Like, how does it go? This is like a set format, or how does that work?
Well, the format is pretty much like, so the art show is 3 to 7. So from 3 to about 5 o'clock, which is probably about 5 o'clock now, but usually I try to let everybody come in and mingle and network. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can see the art, shop with the vendors and stuff like that. I give them at least about 2 hours to, do a full cycle, walk around and get to know everybody and get to put themselves out there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then after that, it goes into a breakdown of poetry. I introduce the poets. I let them do maybe like a 5-minute set, 5 minutes or less, they do their poetry set, and then I introduce the artist and allow the artist to really just give what it is that drives them, the driving force behind what makes them paint, what makes them design, or what stimulates their creativity. And that's pretty much everything, it's like not only the artist, but like the entrepreneurs out here. What drove you to become an entrepreneur? What drove you to sell the products that you're selling today? You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to hear, because you never know who's in a crowd is motivated by what you did or what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And it could push them to do something similar, or whatever it is that is deep down is driving them. Because everybody has a passion for something, but it's just a matter of taking that first step or taking action to do it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we need encouragement as entrepreneurs, as artists, as poets, as, MCs or producers or engineers or whatever it is that you do. You know what I'm saying? You may need to hear the story that relates to you so you can be able to push forward. You know what I'm saying? Or and that may make you want to network with that individual and say, damn, he's a producer. I'm looking to produce. I make beats, but, they haven't jumped out there yet, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing, we want you to jump out there, be free, you know what I'm saying? And be open to whatever ideas that stimulate your mind, because those ideas are pretty much going to make you win in the future, you know what I'm saying? And, my whole goal is to let you know, don't be afraid of what it is that you have in your heart and your mind and you seek out to do. So that's it. And but yeah, that's the breakdown. So once everybody shares what they have to share, you know what I'm saying, I pretty much close the show out at that, you know what I'm saying? Because at that point, the artists have connected to the audience and vice versa, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully the audience is connected to the artist. And, you know what I'm saying, that brings about, a feeling of comfort, you know what I'm saying? Because we want the audience to connect with whatever it is you do, so they can be well in tune with what you are, and they can follow you further outside of what it is the Rare Art Show is, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's that.
brother, man, I'm glad you gave us like this beautiful explanation about everything. I'm glad you did this, man. And I definitely don't want to hold you up anymore because I know you're definitely busy, man. So I just want everyone to know about this great event down here at 2055 Walden Road in St. Louis, Missouri. Definitely check it out. Like I said, it's a monthly event. And free, man, if you go ahead and give out some information, man, just know where can people find you, how can people find this like online and try to follow this, keep up this. How can they find this online? Like what's the kinds of information?
Online, you can find me online. It's Freebird Sko, FreeBirdSko, and I'm pretty much on all platforms. You know what I'm saying? Rare Earth Art Show has not have we don't have a website or anything like that for it yet, but you can look for it in the future. But if you follow me on all platforms, I have that website up probably by next month or something like that for you to follow. But you're following me, you'll be able to get in tune with everything that's Rare Earth. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, brother, man, thank you so much, man. I truly appreciate you taking out the time to do this, man. And definitely appreciate this. And yo, JR signing off for another great interview from Fruit of the Boom Podcast and Lando Cal Experience. And I'm back again with a second interview down at the Rare Art Show down at 2055 Walden Road down in St. Louis, Missouri. Got my man Marcus here, fellow podcaster. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm so impressed by you right now. I'm so impressed by your simplicity and execution of what you're doing. Because my whole setup is so over the top, it's so too much that I get notes every time like you doing too much. Like, what do you mean? I need more accessories. I need more stuff to do stuff, and you just get shit done. I am so impressed.
Oh man,
by a long shot.
Dude, I saw y'all whole setup when I walked past. I was like, damn, that's like okay.
Oh my god.
And dude, I was impressed with my damn self, man. So I appreciate it.
Oh my god.
So like, I'm glad to see more podcasts. So it's dope for me, man. So I appreciate seeing you out here, man. But I just want to go ahead and just sit down with you for a second, man. Just holler at you, just get people know what you about, man. Let my listeners know what you about, and just spread the word, man.
Absolutely, man. Bro. Like,
So yeah, go tell me a little bit about yourself, man, as far as like your podcast. I know you told me you do like 2 to 3 of them right now.
So I produce 3, I host 2. Okay. So I host the Soulardians with me and Cecil W. Adams, called the Soulardians. That's just like we call it the Human Becoming Podcast. So we always want to meet people, network with people that want to be the next level up. And it's also a positive playground. So as much as it's about, displaying how you're trying to evolve and get to know where you at and where you want to go, it's still a fucking playground being positivity. So we slang dope, and that means diversity, optimism, positivity, and empowerment. Yeah. So that's the dope we slang on the Soulardians, and we believe in it. So like, I feel like between me and Cecil, you're going to find something between the two of us that you're going to gravitate towards. And Cecil being a career bartender, entrepreneur, business owner. He owns a bar, Colorado Bob's, 3457 Number 4 Road, over there off of Tower Grove South. Okay. That'll back open up soon. And we do that podcast together. We've only been a year in, say last November. Okay. Then I have my own podcast called Cognac Corner. It's about sex, love, relationships. All things I'm bad at, but I figure that maybe through this platform I can get my shit together and maybe find some peace in my love. Or not. Then I just be amused for a shit show and just burn the city down the way. That's fine. I think it's over for me. I'm about to say I have no chance in hell.
It's never. As long as you got breath in your body, bro, it ain't over. It ain't over yet.
It's only 3 weeks into 2020. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well. But it's okay. I have something to work towards. Once I got those platforms to nurture is babies, I'm gonna keep doing it. And then my third one I produce, I don't host, is High Off the Glass with Obi Gray, and that's a marriage between marijuana and basketball. Things he enjoy. I produced that one, and that's where we at. So those 3 podcasts, you can find us on all platforms. You can find us on all social medias. Cognac Corner, Go Soulardians, and High Off the Glass.
Hell yeah. So podcast to podcast, man. So tell me, like, what made you start getting into podcasts in the first place?
For me personally, I used to give bad advice to my friends about their love lives. I figured that maybe I should give more bad advice on a bigger scale. So I was like, you know what, maybe I can give this advice. I think it's good. It don't work for me because I don't listen to my own advice, but I'm a hell of a coach. Terrible player, hell of a coach. So that was something I enjoyed. And then Cecil was wanting to remove himself from being an employee to an ownership. He wanted to do his own podcast. And he said, hey, come do it with me. And we sort of just crafted the Soulardians. And he has his own podcast coming out soon called Another Round with Cecil W. Adams, which is about the bar industry, the ins and outs, and just something in that lane. Because if you can't find it, you create it.
Right.
So that's what we believe in. So that's something he wanted to do, and we just figured out, let's go and do it. And we had a hard time finding a very vibrant and thriving podcast community just through a simple Google search. So you know we have to do something about it. So let's first get our bearings, define ourselves, and get our consistency going, and then we can do a bigger, more communal, tribe-focused platform. So it was like we already talk shit. I'm comfortable having a conversation. I'm comfortable giving advice, good, bad, or indifferent. Why not do it at the biggest way possible? And went home first. You know, it's like we do tribe thing going forward because like it's about being a tribe and it's not about us. It's about everybody else. And so it worked out. So now it's like 1 podcast, 2 podcasts, 3 podcasts, a 4th podcast, and this is the 4th podcast. Jesus Christ! It's called Coming to the Main Stage, which is hosted by 3 exotic dancers that talk about their industry from their perspective. And they're also out on all platforms, all social medias. I produced that one as well, and I look forward to a check one day.
Hell yeah! Hey man, hey bro, do you, man? I'm not mad at you at all, man. So outside of 2 of you that do the podcast, do you have anyone else who do podcasts with you, or is it mainly you two?
It's mostly me and Cecil on Soulardians, and then the solos. We work with S. Dot. She has a dope podcast, S. Dot Experience, free. Host of events. He's been on my podcast. S. Dot and Free's been on my podcast. Had a great fucking time. It's mostly us right now, but like we're always looking to collab and work with and polish and refine and break and redo the podcast. So like most is me and Cecil on ours, and I have to say, the Great does his, and the other ladies do theirs. It's just I want everyone that has a voice and confidence in their vision to do it, and then I'm gonna do what I can do to make it better. Right, wrong, and different. You don't know till you try.
Right.
So that was the biggest thing. Like I'm always looking to, work and collab and give my marketing or producer eye to anyone that's doing something and learn. So like I'm so impressed that you were able to do so much with just a simplistic run. Like it would take I need lights, I need powder room, I need so much. I just
But dog, but guess what though? Like I told you earlier, man, as long as shit gets recorded and it looks great, it sounds great, that's the main thing. And
it is.
And like I said, from what I saw, me and my wife saw when we walked past, y'all set up
man.
Kudos to y'all, man. Y'all set up. I'm like, damn. Okay.
And I always talk about what I don't have instead of being blessed with.
Man, no, bro.
I know.
You had a nice setup, man. I gotta admit, you had a nice setup.
I gotta bring it to the studio, then. If you thought that was a setup, wait till you get to the studio. Not to brag, but I'm bragging. Wait till you get to the studio, that's always looking to get better. It's all about the vibe. It's all about the vibe.
Ain't shit wrong with that, bro. Ain't shit wrong with that at all. But yeah, man, I definitely just wanted to kind of sit down and let the main thing that let people like hear what you about, man, because I want more and more podcasts is like, because I do like both my music podcasts. I'm doing dual episodes for both my music podcast and my Black Youth podcast. So we're doing dual episodes for this, man. I want both listeners for both shows, man, to hear, just know about you guys, just know about, and then some new listeners for new shows, man, because I do this shit all the time. Because like I said, we try, man, podcast to podcast.
Yeah, like last night I had Tank on E, who has a podcast.
Okay.
Follow him on last night at the studio. He's dropping tomorrow on the Soulardians. Like he's a podcaster who's in it for the last 2 years, and I want to know his story because you learn from sharing stories and energy and vibes. And like, I love. It's the difference when you get a podcast on your show and you get there's a person that's maybe a business owner.
Right.
You still have to coach them through the process. When you're a podcast, you know how to find the microphone. You know how to sort of the little things you learn through experience. I said I can almost be a guest on my own show. Thank you. Hey, this ain't my show. This is your show. I am just a vessel for your greatness. That's all I ever want to do, regardless of what the platform is. So like I look forward to having you on the show and just amplify both your podcast, whatever you're doing, beyond levels we can't see yet. But that's what life's about. We ain't living for other people than what you're living for.
100% right on that one, bro. I can't disagree with that at all. Can't agree more. Yo, man, like I said, the main thing is, like, I just wanted to just take a few minutes out, man. I'm glad you did, and thank you so much for doing so. But let the people out here know, man, again, just how they can contact you, how they can find your shows, and then where you got your shows hosted.
So you can find me on Instagram at MOBoston314. my best friend Cecil W. Adams on all social medias. That's Twitter and Instagram. Cognac Corner, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Soulardians, Instagram, Facebook. Websites as well for Cognac Corner and Soulardians. You can find Oh the Great on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Oh the Great. High Off the Glass on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we're on all streaming platforms and YouTube. We're all there. Come to the Main Stage is also just dropped last week. They're slowly getting on all the platforms. Okay. Great conversation, great perspective. You want to know if you into the strip life, which we all been there one way or the other. You want to hear the other side of the person that's giving you pleasure and time. It's also the perspective, so giving you some behind the scenes information and conversations. I think we all worth having at your convenience on all streaming platforms.
Hell yeah. YouTube. Hell yeah. Well, brother, man, thank you so much again, man, for just taking the time out to do this.
I appreciate you, my man.
Thank you.
This is beautiful. I can't wait to have you on the show because Cecil's gonna be look what I did. Look what I did.
Oh no, this is amazing, man. So I appreciate it, man. But thank you so much again, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you.
A pleasure's all mine.
Absolutely. But good people out there, catch me on the next episode of both Lando Cal Experience and Fruit of the Boom Podcast. Signing out. Peace.